Some days it feels like you're not moving, like you're just stuck in place. But what if I told you the progress you're making is invisible until one day it shows up as everything you ever hoped for? You woke up today. That's progress. You're still here. That's resilience. You think you're behind, but you're not. You're just early in your journey. You compare your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20, but their story isn't yours. You've faced challenges, and you're still standing. That's strength. You've made mistakes, and you've learned from them. That's growth. You've felt lost, but you kept going. That's courage. You've doubted yourself, but you didn't quit. That's determination. You've been afraid, but you took action anyway. That's bravery. You've been overwhelmed, but you managed. That's capability. You've been uncertain, but you made decisions. That's leadership. You've been tired, but you kept moving. That's endurance. You've been hurt, but you healed. That's recovery. You've been rejected, but you tried again. That's perseverance. You've been alone, but you found your way. That's independence. You've been misunderstood, but you stayed true. That's authenticity. You've been discouraged, but you found hope. That's optimism. You've been anxious, but you found peace. That's mindfulness. You've been impatient, but you waited. That's patience. You've been angry, but you forgave. That's compassion. You've been jealous, but you celebrated others. That's humility. You've been selfish, but you gave. That's generosity. You've been lost, but you found purpose. That's direction. You've been stuck, but you took a step. That's momentum. You've been silent, but you spoke up. That's voice. You've been invisible, but you showed up. That's presence. You've been unsure, but you believed. That's faith. You've been broken, but you rebuilt. That's resilience. You've been down, but you rose. That's come back. You've been scared, but you faced it. That's courage. You've been unsure, but you trusted. That's confidence. You've been waiting, but you acted. That's initiative. You've been dreaming, but you did. That's execution. You've been planning, but you started. That's beginning. You've been hoping, but you worked. That's effort. You've been wishing, but you created. That's manifestation. You've been thinking, but you moved. That's progress. You've been doubting, but you believed. That's trust. You've been fearing, but you tried. That's bravery. You've been delaying, but you began. That's action. You've been hesitating, but you jumped. That's leap. You've been questioning, but you answered. That's clarity. You've been resisting, but you accepted. That's surrender. You've been avoiding, but you faced. That's confrontation. You've been hiding, but you revealed. That's openness. You've been pretending, but you became real. That's authenticity. You've been surviving, but now you're living. That's transformation. You've been comparing, but you forgot to count the battles. You've already won. The day you kept going with no applause, that was a win. The moment you held back tears and kept your head up, that was a win. When you chose peace instead of revenge, that was growth. When you forgave someone who never said, sorry, that was healing. When you faced the mirror and didn't look away, that was self-respect. You don't give yourself enough credit because your wins don't always make noise. But silent strength is still strength, and slow progress is still progress. It's easy to forget how far you've come when you're focused on how far you still have to go. But every time you chose progress over comfort, every time you showed up instead of giving up, you became someone stronger. So here's your reminder. You're doing better than you think, and your future self is already proud. Take one more step, one more breath, one more moment of belief. Now ask yourself, what silent victory are you proud of today? Drop it in the comments. Someone out there needs that proof too. This is Self-Uplift, and your best chapter starts now.